And welcome to this edition of the Recruiting Intel, brought to you by the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel, powered by InsideTexas.com. I'm your host, Justin Wells. With me, as always, is my recruiting co-pilot, that's Coach Dub, Charlie Williams. Coach, it's always a pleasure to see you. But first, do me a big favor. You got to like and subscribe this video. Help us keep climbing to the 11,000 mark on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel. And also come see us at InsideTexas.com. We're always here. We always want you. This is really the best time. Texas, number 3 in the country, 8-1, doing really well, barreling towards a top 3, potentially recruiting class. And so that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. There's some loose ends in this class of 2025 that Texas has to finish up pretty strong. They had a couple guys on campus. We're going to talk about those. But first, we're going to talk about Michael Terry III. That's a big-time 5-star, number 1 athlete in the country, 6'3", about 210, 215. Just got his Navy All-American jersey ceremony last Friday, so he's going to be playing in that bowl game. The latest there basically is it's the same thing I've heard since September. I actually caught up with him a few days ago, and Terry basically laid it out. Look, he's getting close. I was like, man, you've been telling me that for 2 months. But I think he is getting close. I really do. I think the family has a really good idea where he's going to go. They're just in no rush, and Texas isn't pushing or pressuring. They have let those guys know how important he is. I want to ask you, Coach. Texas has 3 receivers in this class. Terry could be the 4th. That could be the 4th guy, and they've also envisioned him in playing like an H-back role, a tight end role. He's going to get a chance on offense. Where do you think Texas maximizes this guy on the offensive side of the ball?
I'm going to go with H-back, only because you can kind of use the H all over the field. You might even line him up at running back in goal line situations. Like, he has a lot of ability. He can do a lot of different things. But an H, just like a Travis Kelce, you can play in line or you can play out wide. Like, he's just a mismatch problem no matter where he lines up. But I think Texas will kind of use him as a chess piece to kind of move around. And, Sark can get really creative with a guy like Michael Terry. So I see him playing all over and just being moved around. Motion, whatever you need him to do, he can do it.
This guy never lost a game in district. In 4 years, wow. He never lost a game in district play. I thought that was unbelievable. They're going to start their playoff run on Friday, and so I'm going to try to come. I'm going to try to come see that kid. I hope they make it a couple rounds deep because I need to go check him out. He's just fantastic. He's not just a fantastic athlete and football player. He's a great kid. Yeah. He's already built bonds and relationships with a lot of these Texas players. His parents have already kind of connected with some of the Texas players' parents, and so that's kind of the start. And that's kind of the start of building out a class is when these guys all connect and they all start seeing on the same level. And so with Michael Terry III, I still feel confident about my RPM. Do you have an RPM for MT3?
Yeah, I don't have one for MT3, but
well, if you get bored, you might as well.
It's time to put it in. I think
because look, Nebraska is the main competitor there, and look, Matt Rule is making him a priority. Yeah. And they have honestly they came correct in that recruitment. And I think if Texas didn't do as well as they did on the official visit and afterwards, I think Nebraska may have been the school, Nebraska or Oregon rather. But I think that's the one that's gonna really give Texas the most competition. But at the end of the day, it's proximity and it's Texas. Yeah. And I think that's what he's always kind of dreamed of playing. And so Terry's just a great kid. I think he's a locker room fit. I think he's a culture fit, and he's damn sure an athletic fit. Texas had 2 2025 other guys on campus this weekend. These are some new names to Texas fans. Not incredibly new, but pretty new. Graceson Littleton. We're going to start with him. Him and Kelan Wiley. Both of these are Tampa kids. So so Texas has been hanging around Tampa Bay a little bit. And first off, let's start with this guy because Texas has to have another corner in this class, Charlie. Caleb Chester can't be the only one. And so you got a 6'1", about 175-pound 4-star out of Wiregrass Ranch. You've seen some of his clips. I caught up a little bit and got some notes on him, but you've seen a little bit of tape on this kid. He recently decommitted from Clemson. He took an official visit to Michigan 2 weekends ago. Looks like it's a Texas-Michigan battle. What is your take just by watching him and kind of how he would fit in Texas?
Yeah, I see a guy who's a total athlete. I mean, you look at his tape, you can see how swift he is. He has good feet. He has good hips. He has good eye coordination. The one thing I loved about his film is he points out exactly what he's doing when he talks about his technique. Playing in the hip pocket of the receiver, looking and leaning and getting his head around, knocking the ball down. Like, He does a great job of that, but he has great hands, man. He used to also line up at receiver, so that tells you a little bit about his hands. He can catch the ball, he'll go up and get the ball. And then he has some return ability. So he's just a special kid, a special athlete that's played on both sides of the ball throughout his high school career. Those great athletes, they turn out to be pretty good DBs a lot of the times because they have a lot of skill sets that most kids just don't have. And so I like his tape, man. He has good speed. Like I said, has long arms. He does a great job in press technique, and he can run with pretty much anybody.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Littleton. Like I said, they've got Chester in this class already, and people are wondering how many corners they need in this cycle. I think the number's 2 because they took 4 last year, and you're already reaping the benefits of 2 of those guys.
Yeah.
Kobe Black was getting run in the first quarter. He actually led the DBs in tackles on Saturday with 6. He had a pick 6 taken away 3 weeks ago in Nashville. So Kobe's flashing. Wardell Mack is, whenever he's on the field, he flashes. He makes an impression. He had a nice play on Saturday, and he had an interception about a month ago as well. And so I think the number's 2, and I think Littleton is in a great spot. There's been a handful of RPMs and crystal balls predictions to Texas. We're not there just yet. We think Texas is in a great spot. From what I've heard, this is going to come down to 2 things, NIL and development. Which I think with a lot of elite kids, that kind of goes without saying. But that was stressed to me from a source close to that recruitment. And so Michigan is the other guy. That's the other team. And look, Texas doesn't necessarily need Littleton. Like, it's not a dire need. There are plenty of guys. That secondary is going to be even more ridiculous next year and the year after that. Michigan, they have nobody. Like, they went to Kilgore, Texas for one of their corners. They came to East Texas and got Jaden Sanders. That's where they're in. So I think Michigan's going to push a lot to the center of the table for this kid. But at the end of the day, I think Texas made a great impression. And sometimes when you get that last OV, that can be the biggest deal. Right now, we're trying to figure out when he might want to make a decision, if it's going to be on National Signing Day or maybe in between. But we're getting close. We're getting close to an RPM on that one. We're hearing a lot of good stuff, but I still think Texas, I think they got one more lap. I think there's another lap to this race before it's over with. And so it's going to be interesting. Hey, Coach, you want to come to Arkansas with me on Saturday?
I wish I could.
Hey, man, it's going to be a good game. They do it big in Fayetteville.
Yeah.
But if you're looking to get tickets for that Arkansas game, go ahead and use Game Time. That's the place to be. You can download the Game Time app or go to gametime.co and see all the available tickets. They've got it all. Their all-in price features shows you the total price that you can go to the game without all those sneaky added fees put in. You can use the promo code ON3 for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply, and it's not just for college football, okay? There's a lot of stuff going on. Grab the latest tickets from all your favorite sports teams. NFL is in – you might want to avoid the Cowboys. We go down to RNG and see the Texans. Hey, NBA, NHL – MLB is over with. World Series is done. The Dodgers brought that home. But, hey, you might want to look at the Texas Rangers tickets for next year because I think we're going to make another run. Either way, go to gametime.co. Game Time is the app. That's what we want. That's where you go for the best prices on all tickets and get that $20 off your first purchase when you use the promo code ON3. Okay, we talked about one defender from Tampa that came in this weekend. Let's talk about the other defender that came in from Tampa. Yeah. This went from Armwood. We're learning some new stuff about these Tampa schools. This is a 4-star linebacker named Kelan Wiley. That's 6'2", 205. Incredible senior tape. I think this is one of those late risers that Texas usually finds 1 or 2 of every cycle. This kid has caught fire. You had some great stuff. You posted something early at InsideTexas.com earlier today. Please go check that out. Coach Dub has been all over both these guys that were taking visits. We love that stuff. What is it that you've heard about Kelan Wiley and kind of give us the latest on what you see as him as a fit?
Yeah, so most people think he's, Miami lean, but Texas gave him something to look at. I heard that, Texas has a lot of upside and that a lot of things that he values from culture, Coach Nance and the way he coaches, but he sees opportunity. He saw a lot of young guys play on Saturday. It's like, if you work hard, you can come here and have an opportunity to play. But just looking at his film, I saw a guy that flies to the football. He's super athletic. He's that new age linebacker who doesn't have to come off the field on any down. He can cover in space. He can rush the passer. And when he hits you, you're going to feel it. So he's just a kid, man, that plays just lights out every single play. And I'm just watching this film, man. He's a guy that would fit at Texas. You can put him in any spot. He doesn't have to come off the field. Like I said, he can rush the passer on 3rd down. So you're starting to see a trend of what Texas likes a linebacker, right? A lot of fast, athletic guys who really get after it, but smart IQ and who can do multiple things.
And this is coming from a guy that has had the goods on every linebacker in this cycle that's committed to Texas or almost committed to Texas. They're still trying to flip Riley Pettijohn. Yeah. You're all over that. Jonathan Cunningham might be the steal of DFW. Yeah. He already jumped in the boat. He was not going to miss that spot. And then Elijah Bo Barnes. I mean, this guy has had unbelievable season, like unbelievable senior year. He's rose in the rankings for good reason. They need another linebacker in this cycle, though. They got two. They want one more. If they can't flip Pettijohn, if they can't get Madden Ferriemo back on campus in the next few weeks, the Cali linebacker, Kelan Wiley, I think, is a guy they really like. One source told our Eric Nalin that they think this kid is a fit on the field and off the field. You know, and the biggest battle is going to be, you know, when you used to go to Florida for recruits, you had to battle 3 schools. You had to talk a kid out of Florida, Florida State, and Miami. Times have changed. Did you see Saturday's games? Every college in the state of Florida lost last Saturday.
Oh, wow.
Even the HBCUs, even the D2s. It was unprecedented. So now it's a little easier to go into Florida to get these guys. Oh, yeah. But Miami is recruiting at a high level right now, and Miami is the other school. How much do you think Texas, did they move the needle this weekend in regards to how they're going to try to battle for Wiley and kind of get Miami out of the way?
I say so. I mean, a kid from the state of Florida, I've been from Tampa, they pay attention to the Gators. I'm sure him growing up when he was young, he saw the Gators be, you know, they were doing well. He saw Florida State do well recently, well, last year, you know, but can't speak for this year, right?
Right.
And then Miami's kind of been up and down, not the Miami that we all knew. So I think Texas moved the needle, right? Because he saw Texas dominate a lot of guys he probably knows, probably grew up with, you know, and who's probably been recruiting him for a long time. And so it's like, hey, okay, I can come to out of state. I can come to Texas, and they're not going to have any kind of, you know, political views towards me from being from another state. It doesn't matter where you come from. You can play here, right? And I think Texas moved the needle a lot. But the way they played, we know they moved the needle by playing a lot of young guys. He saw a young Anthony Smith out there making an interception, making a play. It's like, yo, that can be me, right? So Texas moved the needle in my book a lot, just by how they played and giving opportunity to so many young guys.
And doing it in front of the Florida Gators, and also watching a guy that he knows, Jarrett Gibson from Gainesville, go for his first 100-yard game at Inside Texas, and I'll take all the credit for that, since I predicted a big game out of Jarrett Gibson in our IT roundtable. Always check that out. Always a good read. Always a good watch on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel. All right, Charlie, they're number 5 in the country right now in recruiting rankings. How do they get to number 3? How do they finish and get in that top 3? There's some scenarios where they could finish number 1 or number 2, but let's not be greedy. Let's get as realistic as possible. How do they finish strong? How do they climb into that top 3? Who do they need to finish with?
Well, kid-wise, man, look, there's so many kids that they're after, right? That they can flip. Here's one thing. Continue to take care of business on the field, because you got to win.
Amen.
Number 2, we know December's coming. What happens in December? Coaches hit the road. If Sark comes into your living room and in there winning, somebody's in trouble. No kid is safe. That's how I feel. No kid is safe. He sits on your mother's couch in her living room.
Yeah,
I guarantee. And 3, I think, you know, continue to build on the relationships you already have with kids, right? I'm sure Texas has not let up on a ton of kids that are on the prospect board that they've been out there from the beginning. So a lot of those big time recruits that you're after, this is the time to say, hey, everything I told you about, I told you this was going to happen. Then come home, right? And I also told you these others wouldn't last. And the proof is in the pudding with a lot of teams, right? And so use every recruiting tactic you can. Eat the mom's pancakes and tell her you love the food, and get these kids to flip like those pancakes.
Dude, I love it. And, you know, I like that last point you made. Trust your eval.
Yes.
Trust the relationship you've built. Trust the fact that you didn't push mom and dad. You didn't push the head coach, the recruiting coordinator, or grandma, or the trainer. You just built out the relationship with the kid and his family. Trust what you put into it. And I think I think Texas fans maybe early on were a little skittish. They understand now. This dude is an incredible recruiter. You got to trust that. I think if they add Michael Terry III, that'll shoot up one ranking.
Yeah.
I think if they get one of 2 of Littleton and Wiley, that'll help them climb up a little bit more. I'm going to throw another one at you. What if they get Joseph and Bachu? They need 2 more D linemen in this cycle. They would like 3, but they need 2 more in this cycle. And if they could add a Joseph Mbachu and potentially a Kevin Wynn or a Walter Mathis Jr. or a Justice Terry, which could be a little bit of a stretch, or a Zion Williams, or a Chase Sims from Richmond Randall. Like, there's plenty of guys there. They're going to need 2 more. I like where they're at with Mbachu right now. I love that he didn't commit to Auburn last weekend. I think that keeps Texas squarely in that one. And so if you can nail down those last 4 or 5 guys, and there's always going to be 1 or 2 towards the end that are somewhat of a surprise, or like you like to say, one of those flips, because they didn't let up on Riley Pettijohn. They love that guy. They're not going to. They haven't let up on Michael Fasusi. You flip Michael Fasusi, you're talking number 1, number 2 ranking. You bring in 2 more 5 stars, you're probably going to finish in the top 2. And so the fact, and again, Fasusi's been adamant that he is solid. He's solid to Oklahoma, but that's not going to keep you from building and trying. I actually told Michael, he said, I can't believe Texas and Texas A&M call me every single day. I said, I believe it. I said, they're going to call you every day until you sign a piece of paper. Right. That's your reality. And I think Michael Fasusi handles that really well. So definitely. Charlie, man, thank you so much. This was a lot of fun. Fans, thank you for making us a part of your day and joining us on the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel. Please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel. But more than that, come see us at InsideTexas.com. We really do have a lot of fun. We really do put out the content on a regular basis, and we really do paint a great picture of what Texas football is in 2024 and beyond. So come see us. Come see us at InsideTexas.com. For me, Justin Wells, Charlie Williams, at Inside Texas, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the Inside Texas Football YouTube channel powered by InsideTexas.com. We'll see you soon.